Hey folks, it's third week in a row we're doing this, and I'm just changing the position around to see for my own personal amusement and whatnot. Got a little interesting thing planned for you here at the end of this writing tip, which is very short, by the way, on purpose. What I wanted to talk about today was the concept of starting out as a new writer today. I was going through a post a while back and had come across it, and it made me think about these things. And the post itself, again, is very old, and pretty much the blog is obsolete nowadays. But I thought that we get into the nitty-gritty of things. And one of the things that I wanted to discuss was what I would do if I had to start as an author today. So there are a couple of key things that you want to do. The first of which is obviously ass in the chair, hands on these keys over here, and write. That's the biggest thing every single day. You don't have to be as disciplined as I am, regimented as I am in terms of every single night when I decide to work on a novel. It's 2,500 words or 10 pages roughly, or bust. It's usually both. But you have to put your hands on the keys and type the words out. Otherwise, you can't fix a blank page. The second thing you need to do is read. Anything and everything. Your favorite genres predominantly, especially if you're trying to write in those same genres. And I know this goes without saying, but the more you read, the better your writing will become. And here's how I look at it. You have a word bank, a well, we'll call it a well in your head, and it's got X amount of words for the year. And many of the words are the same, many of the words are different, but it's got those instances where you've got 10,000 instances where you can say the word the, for example, or 5,000 instances of the word wet or juicy. I did that on purpose, by the way. Once you've exercised that reserve of 5,000 instances of the word juicy and your 10,000 instances of the word the and everything else in your mind's empty. So you have to refill it constantly. And how do you do that? You pick up anything and everything. Yes, this is a plug for Tim Ferriss. Be glad it ain't Milo. Anyway, but anything in here is golden. Your favorite books, your magazines, everything. Read, read, read. I'm lucky enough to where when I go outside at night, before two of my girlfriends call, I can smoke a cigar, and my Kindle's actually behind my phone for purposes of recording, but my Kindle is packed full of books, and this gives you, not only does it refill the reservoir, that's the word I was looking for, but it shows you examples of good writing, it shows you examples of crappy writing if you pick up the occasional author that doesn't suit your needs and really doesn't suit anyone's and leaves you scratching your head. But it teaches you how to write, especially if you took my advice from the previous video and started to mimic their style as to where certain actions happen in the story. Where does the first sex scene happen? Where's the black moment? Where's the resolution, but not the ending? You know, those things. Third thing I would do, easily, hands down, and this is my biggest problem on account of, at this point, no cable, not that's an issue for me, but watch a ton of movies. A lot of you I know already do. The Marvel series has got a franchise, and DC Comics franchise, and I know a lot of you are probably fans of Pride and Prejudice and everything you can get your hands on. It's Jane Austen. I'll never figure that out. I tried to read Pride and Prejudice, and the only way that I was able to understand the story was there was a clip on Facebook, and it was Pride and Prejudice explained by a gangster. Otherwise, I think Austen's writing is just awful. I understand time period, but they were better women writers at that point too. I understand ultimate form of romance, I get that. Dude, execution's weak, but I digress. Point is, Watch movies, romantic comedies, suspense, action, thrillers, whatever you like, watch them. They too refill the visual stock in your head. Because remember, like I talked about in the first video, communication is 85% nonverbal. So we're back to your body language. But you get stuck using the same body language tags or action tags over and over and over again if you don't change what you watch. I spent 4 novels. One of my beta readers gave me a bunch of hell because I spent 3 novels, wasn't for 3, and my characters did this. I should be arching one of my eyebrows. I can't do it right now, of course, because I'm on the thing, but whatever. Anyway, I picked up that gesture from Steve Buscemi, who plays Nucky Thompson in Boardwalk Empire. Jim Gordon in Gotham has a set of gestures that are different than Nucky's, and especially because they're not even the same type of character. Whereas like DCI Luther, Idris Elba, language patterns got picked up watching Luther. And you're able to refill the visual memory so you don't get stuck and stale. Those are the top 3 things I would do. I would also, again, go back to writing more. I would also make damn sure that I protect my writing time. Now, if you're in your 20s, you're probably a little more fresh than a lot of us in terms of active. You maybe go to the club scene or the bar scene or this or that. There's a lot of food stuff going on in the country thanks to California, etc., etc. A lot of fun things. Great, you need those too. But make sure you protect your writing time. This means from your boyfriends, girlfriends, husbands, lovers, mistresses, I don't care. Protect your writing time. And on that note, I'm actually not even sure I would have been in a relationship had I known what it would have cost me. Not to say I regret that, but it definitely limited my time to do the things necessary that I felt would help me sell better on account of we were young. Next thing, education. If you've been following me for a long time, you know that I teach. I teach male point of view to romance writers because 95% of you are female. And there are some gay males who write heterosexual romance. And then, of course, I've been writing it for 18 years. I teach a BDSM course. By this time, this has been gone. Yeah, I've got a course on sex, drugs, and alcohol, which is more or less a historical course. But their RWA chapters, the local chapters, do a really fantastic job educating their membership base. I can think of several chapters off the top of my head that are just fantastic chapters to work with. So there's that. I will give a shout out to my homegirls at OCC in SoCal because they've treated me like a rock star, and I really, really appreciate that. Biggest thing. You think it was networking, and to some extent that is. You need to have agent friends, editor friends, writer friends, other people that you can talk about this stuff to, because you're going to have weird conversations. I remember having a conversation with an author a couple of years ago, a transgendered author, and guy's writing was fantastic. For a new writer. And it kept getting better. And then he just fell off the mat. But I asked him because he was depressed about sales, and I said, well, 2 things. First of all, I have a theory about the gender component here. I want to run by somebody else that's older than you before I put this theory forward. And I'll go there with that later on, because it does kind of play into this at some point. And the second thing is, I said, dude, you're transgender, which means you're on the fringe, and I presume you've done the scene circle a bit. He says, yeah. Not too much, but a bit. I said, do your friends know? He says, they don't. I said, dude, why don't your gay friends know? They should support you, at least morally, you know? But over networking, I would conquer my fear of submission. I would click that send button. I would follow those guidelines to the letter. and I would submit every chance I got, every single chance I got. This builds a thick skin. When they say no, this builds rapport with editors who might not think you're a right fit for their line, but they're willing to provide you with some helpful feedback. And it builds your character. I mean, I'll be honest. And I know that we're in a time where it's not necessary to have to worry about that, but you really should. I will go on record and state I have met a lot of wonderful, wonderful new authors. And when I say new, I mean indie published. And when I say indie published, I mean self-published. And I have changed my tone about self-publishing over the years. I used to think that it was just crap, and now I see it as a viable marketing strategy. But you miss out on a lot of things. It's like playing team sports if you're athletically inclined. I was, but I can't see, so baseball, basketball, football, if it involved a ball or throwing and catching, I was out. But I ran cross country and track, and that strengthened a lot of my resolve in different ways. The same with publishing. Maybe you want to incorporate self-publish or traditional indie publishing into your marketing plan. So you've got a team of people that can help teach you how to write and read that you don't pay, thus raising your return on investment of time. And you want to test the market out and see which one works better, or see if you can do both. There are a lot of authors who do both. Either way, it's fair, but I think you need to have a thick skin, and editors like me are mean for a reason. And the reason is, we really like great literature, and even more so, we really want you to succeed. But if you turn in crap, I've been blessed, I admit that, but I've also had a lot of help and a lot of people, kicking me in the ass. So, wash, rinse, repeat. I would definitely focus on developing my audience. And to be honest about it right now, I'm learning how to redo that, because I had an audience back in the early aughts, and it was not bad, but because the times have changed, I'm having to relearn how to use social media, even though my background's in tech. So that's why the YouTube channel got updated. That's why this, got shifted around. That's why I'm more active on my Facebook fan page, on Twitter, all this other stuff. And it's been a great help to some of my younger authors who are figuring these things out, because I told them years ago, figure this part out and the sales problem won't be a problem anymore. Now, that's your tip for the week. I know it's a little harsh in some instances. I know I tend to ramble. I really don't care. But what I did also is, it's laundry day, so showed you on the complex. I know it's going to be brief, but hope you enjoy. And I'll see you next week. Cheers. Hey folks, I'm just showing you guys kind of a little bit of the glamorous life of a writer. It's my off day during the afternoon, so we're gonna go check on the laundry. We're not gonna go all the way in because F that, but here you go, the walk. I'm lucky enough to live on the top floor of an apartment complex. Corner building, corner unit anyway. There she is, all the way up there. And we won't do the whole thing, but we'll get close enough. So you guys see where I live. I really dig it out here for the most part. It's pretty peaceful, minus the gunshots in the back, and I'll cut to that in a moment too. Parking lot. I paid a good amount of money for the spot I got, and it's very peaceful. Oops. Down those steps, and I'll come back in a minute. All right, we're back. Didn't think you guys needed footage of me tying my shoes. They lie about the size of the swimming pool being the largest in DeKalb. My middle girlfriend's got a bigger one in her complex about 2 miles away. But here it is. It's my keys, yay. So you see that building in the distance over there, because I sure as hell don't, but you might. Anyway, laundromat. Playground number 1, more greens, more building. This huge empty space up here. Don't know if you can see that, but I figure we'll try this thing out for a minute and see how I feel about it. And if I feel good about posting this kind of stuff every once in a while, then we'll keep it up. I know Christy Riverton does a lot of this, but she's got a family, so it's almost always entertaining. So more of that. And by the way, we don't go back there. And the reason is, if you don't know what trap music is, you don't belong back there. People shooting guns off. There's our swamp. You know, I know Quickview. And the laundry room. So I'm gonna take care of that, and I'll see you guys in a minute. Give you a brief rundown. Those buildings over there that you see are probably the only other place in the complex I'd like to live in, simply for the fact that they're A, close to the laundry, and they're B, close to the pool. But more importantly, those balconies get constant sunlight, and while I'm not really the best person for that, as you can tell, minus that bruise that I got from being beaten by my girlfriends, that's probably where I'd love to be at. So we'll take a walk down here. If I don't kill myself first. Anyway, it's the basic layout of the complex, minus the back 98 acres behind me. It's a quarter mile to the train station, and you know, overall where I'm at's good. So I hope you enjoyed the writer tip this week. I hope it was fascinating for you. Hope you learned something. We had an interesting little bit here with the complex and my laundry day. So until next week, cheers.